Imagine an umbrella that protects you from a storm. Today, we're going to talk about the world of insurance, what it is, why it exists, and is it really worth it? At its core, insurance means protection from financial loss. In simple terms, you pay a fee. In return, someone promises to have your back if something goes wrong. This entity that provides you this protective shield is called the insurer. On the flip side, the individual buying the protection is known as the policyholder. The transaction is simple. You pay a monthly premium, and the insured guarantees that it will step in and help you cover costs if anything goes awry. The terms of this arrangement are spelled out in a document known as the insurance policy. Insurance costs, especially medical insurance, have evolved over time. For many, these premiums depend on the risk involved. The higher the risk of something bad happening, the more you pay. So if you've already had something happening, your risk is higher. It's a bit like gambling. The insured hopes that you don't need insurance, while the insured hopes that it will save them if disaster strikes, but they don't really want to use it either. But if something goes wrong, the insured can create a claim for the costs that were incurred. They can get compensation. But remember, not everything is covered 100%. There might be a deductible, co-payments, or out-of-pocket expense that you are responsible for yourself, even if you have insurance. However, knowing that, have you ever wondered why insurance companies have so much money? It's because they play the odds, and often the house wins. They take these premiums, the monthly premiums that you give them every month, and they invest them. So that's a lot of times why they don't want to pay out, or it takes a while to pay out, or they make you jump through hoops to get that money paid out. For some, like me, who faced a battle with cancer, insurance came in handy. The cost of my treatment was astronomical. It was over $150,000. Insurance stepped in and covered the bulk of it, or wrote off a lot of it because of what they had negotiated. I ended up paying about $12,000. But is insurance always worth it? For something like dental checkups, you might find yourself weighing the out-of-pocket expenses versus the premium. You have to decide, is it worth it? Most insurance companies pay a max of $1,000 to $2,500. And then they pay 100% of exams, cleanings, and x-rays. They pay 80% of fillings, and then you have to pay that 20%. And then if you need a crown or a root canal or an implant, they generally pay 50%. Sometimes they don't pay implants at all, depending on when the tooth was extracted. And a lot of people will get a tooth pulled if they have a problem because that's the cheapest way to go. But now you're left with a hole and a space big enough to put your tongue through, for food to get caught in, for the tooth above or below to keep growing, because the teeth stop them from growing. And when people have teeth taken out, they don't think about what happens after. So if you don't replace that tooth, things shift, your bite is off, and that can affect your digestion. And a lot of people, when they say take the tooth out because it's cheaper, they don't think about what's going to happen later on with your mouth and your body. So that's why you have to decide, is it worth it for you to have insurance? Because some things are considered an elective, like teeth whitening. So insurance companies will pay for things that they feel is a necessity, but they won't pay for something like whitening that's going to be completely out of pocket. And that's what people want the most, right? They want their teeth whiter. So a lot of folks assume that insurance doesn't cover it, they don't need it. But remember, insurance was designed for healthy people. Dental issues or other diseases can be silent and sneaky, and they escalate before you even know that you have them. I didn't know I had cancer. And compare dental disease to cancer. By the time you feel the symptoms, the disease has already progressed. A lot of people, especially in dentistry, feel no pain, no problem. So by the time you feel pain in your mouth, it's like having stage 4 cancer, and you have to make a decision. And that's when healthcare gets expensive. So preventative is much better than trying to fix it after the fact. And that's why a lot of people feel dentistry is expensive. Well, it is if you wait till you have pain. By the time you have pain, you definitely have a problem, and it's going to cost more to fix it or get back to the function that you had before that. So that's where you have to decide, what are you going to prioritize? Are you going to prioritize your health, or are you going to wait until you get sick and try to get your health back? But it's essential for you to prioritize your health above all else. Stay informed, weigh your options, and make decisions of what is right for you and your family. So that's where it becomes a choice. Is it worth it? If you're healthy, you might not need insurance. You can just take that money and save it. But a lot of us don't. We spend it, right? I paid $300 a month for insurance. Once it became mandatory, it jumped to $600 a month for insurance. So right now, I work my job to pay for insurance and to pay for taxes. As a dental hygienist, insurance usually isn't a benefit. And a lot of employers consider providing insurance as a benefit, but I'm still paying it out of pocket. So is it really a benefit? I'm starting to weigh these options now that I want to go part-time, because you have to work 30 hours a week in order for your employer to provide you insurance insurance coverage. And a lot of times it's cheaper and better coverage if you go through your employer. If you go through the marketplace, sometimes you can get something different and it might not cost you as much. But if you make more money than you tell them, you're going to have to pay more. So again, there's pros and cons to each. I had life insurance and I had a term policy before I had cancer, and it came to term after I had cancer. So I was paying $140 a month. And now in order to have that same coverage, it's going to cost me $1,300 a month to have life insurance. I only have the policy through my job and my insurance that pays for my burial. So again, it's crazy how much insurance we have. The thing that I pay for the most are insurance, because you have homeowners insurance, life insurance, health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, car insurance. I didn't think I was going to get sick and get cancer. Before I started this job, I didn't have insurance for 5 years because when I got divorced and went off my husband's policy, I was temping and I didn't think it was worth it for me to have insurance because I didn't think I was going to be sick. So ironically, I ended up getting this job that provided insurance, and 2 months later, I found out I had cancer. So needless to say, I'm very grateful at how the universe works, and I got this job and got insurance before I found out I had cancer. So it's just funny how that worked out for me. And in that case, I was glad that I had insurance. Otherwise, I probably would have to take out a loan for $100,000 and I'd be paying on that. And in that case, insurance was actually good. A lot of doctors and providers won't even let you make an appointment until you pay for the visit, especially if you don't have insurance, because they're afraid that you're going to have the services done and then you're not going to pay them and they're going to have to chase the money. So I've had some experience with that since I started doing myofunctional therapy. I've had 3 patients where I've seen them and they didn't pay me. So now my policy is you have to pay me before I give you something, because I was out $800. And for a single mom, that's a lot of money. And so now I understand. So people stiff them and don't pay them. They now can't pay the bills that they need to pay. So we have to pay for it. You don't go to the grocery store. They don't give you groceries until you pay for them, right? If you don't pay them, you don't get it. That's how our healthcare is starting to go too, because people weren't paying. A lot of people don't know who their dental coverage is, and they assume it's the same as their medical coverage. So if you don't know what it is, go to your human resources at your employer and find out who it's through. But most offices expect you to know who your insurance is, what is covered, and what your out of pocket is going to be. So you need to know, are they in network? Are they out of network? And next week, we're going to talk about PPO versus HMO. But you need to know who your insurance company is, and they can usually look that up. If they have who the policyholder is, their group number or their social security number, their birth date. A lot of times they don't use social security number anymore. Now they're policy or group numbers, and who your insurance company is. You really need to know who your insurance company is in order to be able to call and find out what is covered and was not covered. A lot of offices will tell you that they will process the insurance for you, but they're not necessarily in work network or have a doctor that's in network. So you can still see them, but you're going to pay more out of pocket if they're not in a network, or you're going to have to pay 100% if you have an HMO and they're not in network. So the insurance company negotiates to take a lesser fee, but you need to know if they are in that network or not. So a lot of people, when they come to see me at the dental office now, they're like, well, now I'm being charged for this and I'm being charged for that. Well, they are, because insurance companies have negotiated these fees and they're actually making less money, but things didn't stop costing less. And especially since COVID, there's a lot more regulations. Things are costing more, but they're getting paid less. So you're going to see a lot more things itemized and not covered. Insurance companies are getting paid more. They're charging us more for premiums, but they're paying out less. So the person that gets hurt in the long run is us, the people that need to have the coverage, right? So again, I think our healthcare system is a broken system. It's a sick care system, but you have to decide what's best for you and your family. How much are you paying? How much are you willing to pay out of pocket? Knowing what your benefits are. In order to maximize your benefits and pay the least amount, you need to know what's covered, where it's covered, what provider it's covered under. A family of 4 going to the dentist is going to be almost $2,000. If you have dental insurance, that's probably going to be covered 100%. But if you have insurance, you're not using it, you're losing it. So if you have dental insurance and you haven't gone to the dentist, at least go get a cleaning, x-rays, and exam, but at least know the health of your mouth. Because if your mouth's not healthy, your body's not healthy. Your mouth gives you warning signs. That's how I found the cancer. My blood work was all fine. I was tired. I was losing hair. My gums were bleeding and they said it was stress. I knew my gums were healthy. So when you know the health of your mouth, you know that maybe there's something out of whack in your body. Something is out of whack, right? It could be your thyroid. It could be diabetes, your sugar. If you have a lot of cavities, your pH is out of balance. If you have bleeding gums, it could be that you're not brushing enough. You're only brushing once a day. You're not brushing once a day. But at least going to the dentist will let you know what is happening. Are you healthy? What's going on? And you can make an informed decision. You can decide, is insurance worth it or not? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, like, share, subscribe for more content just like this. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. As always, thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you next time.